Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today we have some very interesting news, mostly revolving around Ripple and XRP. But I of course have a couple of different pieces of news here that I think you guys will really enjoy. Having said that, let's first take a look at this right here. It is a video from the digital asset investor that he shared from Jeremy Hogan, an attorney. Flashback from Attorney Jeremy explaining why the fair notice ruling is massive and could lead to settlement. Now, for those of you that do not know, Ripple/XRP just got into a very important phase, I would say, where the motion to strike the fair notice defense had been denied. And a little while ago, Jeremy Hogan explained why it is so important. And so let's quickly
one more
this video.
Super important thing I want you to understand about the fair notice defense. I think Ripple's argument that its sales of XRP were not a security are stronger than its fair notice defense. But I think the fair notice defense might be more important, and here's why. The U.S. follows the rule of stare decisis, meaning that rulings from upper courts control the lower courts. The Kick Interactive case is from a same-level court, so it's persuasive authority, but it's not binding. If the ruling was from an appellate court, which is a higher court, the ruling would be binding on the Ripple court, which is a lower court. So if Ripple wins on the fair notice defense, it becomes persuasive authority for any crypto company the SEC sues from this point forward. If the fair notice defense survives and Ripple wins, the SEC is going to have an uphill battle winning any other lawsuits.
And again, guys, remember what we said before. Right now, Ripple is fighting for the entirety of crypto, not only for XRP, mostly because, well, they have the burden of proof, kind of, that the SEC really hasn't warned crypto enthusiast crypto companies too much.
They bring. But wait, it's even bigger than that. Listen to this. Even if Ripple loses the fair notice defense, they can appeal the ruling. And if an appellate court determines that Judge Torres was wrong and Ripple did not have fair notice, then the SEC is now really in trouble because that ruling is binding on every crypto lawsuit that comes along. For the most part, the SEC will not be able to bring any more crypto lawsuits, and the SEC is funded by the fines from these lawsuits. So if that happens, well, read between the lines. So the fair notice defense is the main thing right now. It's the thing that is applying pressure to the SEC. It's pressure that's the key. It's the defense that the SEC is most worried about for good reason. And it's the defense that could potentially save the industry from the SEC. And it's the defense that would lead to the case settling or resolving before a hearing on summary judgment. Pay attention to what happens to it. The other stuff that's going on is important, but this is the issue to watch.
You gotta love this man. You gotta love this man. Look at the information that he can provide to us. I mean, really, without him, I don't know where we would be, purely because the lawsuit is so difficult to understand, specifically all these smaller decisions, and Jeremy Hogan makes it so easy for us all. So once more, this decision was very important. And I actually saw a little bit of a caveat. Somebody said, I swear, Ripple could announce a settlement that includes clarity. And I'm still not sure that XRP would go on a run. You would think after yesterday's news, we would have pumped to over $1, but nope, not this stubborn little coin. Good thing I know it's the standard. So it's a caveat, but it's still meant in good faith. I have a really important announcement on that. And I think personally, the XRP price is really undervalued right now, mostly for how far we've gotten in the lawsuit. And what I mean with that is, if people really understood what's going on, I think way more people would be heavily invested in this crypto. Again, this is not my advice for you, not financial advice, but this is my thoughts. But since the majority of people find this lawsuit hard to understand, and you might say, but Jeremy Hogan gets 150,000 views per video. Yes, but there's a difference between somebody clicking and watching and then fully understanding and then also having the money to back it up. So there's actually a really small amount of people, specifically if you compare it to the tens of millions of people that are into crypto right now. From that perspective, well, I honestly believe it is just undervalued for that reason. People are not understanding how big the announcements actually are. And I don't think the same will go for a settlement because this is all intermediary. A lot of people, I would say 99% of the people in not an XRP already don't really care. It's only the XRP community that cares. And so we are just buying a little bit bigger bags because we're more faithful. But I would say that the majority of people in the XRP community have their bags filled because we already believe they will win. It is mostly the people outside of our little basket that are going to have to invest. And they're not going to do that because of a small announcement like this. It's nice, but this is mostly for within the community. I honestly think the bigger announcement is going to be the settlement or the relistings, where there's just going to be a ton of capital and a ton of people who are not in the space before that are going to be buying in because of that. So that is going to be an amazing time. Now, once more, guys, this defense was just huge. Remember, it's not all of a sudden won, but they can win on fair notice. And as I've said before, I personally think this was already a Ripple victory at the end because, well, if the judge was looking at, this is not the truth officially, but this is how I see it. If the judge looked and said, there's definitely a chance the SEC didn't give fair notice, otherwise she would have striked it down. I'm already seeing that as a really, really positive thing, but I know I shouldn't take it too far. All right, we're going to go in a rapid pace because I don't have too much time right now. There's right now a very big announcement in Europe, or the EU, I should say specifically, to ban proof of work because of the energy consumption. I would say anybody understands why that is a bad thing. Energy consumption is something that we do. I would say Bitcoin proof of work, Ethereum proof of work is kind of unnecessary, so I understand. But banning it, very bad verdict. So right now, a lot of people are really opposed to that issue. The US government apparently will target banks and crypto exchanges that are actually not abiding by the sanctions. It's going to be interesting to see how Binance's stuff will actually come by this or something like that. Then Biden's executive order isn't all positive for the crypto industry. A look at the downsides. I kind of want to go deeper into this, but I would say one of the bigger downsides is that the SEC is being left out. And I think that's a good thing. So I'm not exactly sure why that's a downside. But another one might be that crypto regulation puts more people into crypto, so the prices go up, so we can't buy the dip. That's for sure. But also, a serious note, regulations are not really nice for crazy tokens going like 1,000x, but also not for our little niche, our crypto space of crypto people. The more mainstream becomes, the higher the probability that people will go away from thinking of Bitcoin as the savior of everything and just think of it as another just investment instrument, depending on how the regulations come in. It could also be the exact opposite, but it would have actually been pretty cool if the entire world was really opposed to it, because that would showcase they're so afraid they can't regulate. And I understand that the US and whatever think about the same way. If we regulate it, there's a good chance that people won't see it as that magic save against the government type of money, because we will see everything. CryptoPunks are doing really well because they just got acquired by Bored Ape creators, at least the intellectual property of it. And I believe another collection did as well. It's just Larva Labs sold to Yuga Labs. That's basically what happens. Not really too big, but it is kind of interesting to see. I'm not really too involved with that though, so I don't really mind. Again, the vote on Monday, so tomorrow's going to be a really big day. Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak says he thinks Bitcoin is going to $100,000. I kind of think the same. Even though you guys know I am really more into altcoins than into Bitcoin, I do believe that Bitcoin is safer. And I also believe it's the true vision of crypto, sort of, even though XRP was really early and all that. And I do just think it's worth it to have because it's the most popular thing. You know, it's like in phones, you might look at a newer phone, like, I don't know, Huawei. No, it's not so new. Let's see a new brand and think, well, that is really good. That is amazing. But then you look at Apple and you're like, well, they've been around for a good while. They're right now one of the most popular ones. And even though technology-wise that might not be the best, but there's a couple other appeals. Like, for example, the fact that people all look at it with their eyes like, wow, you know? And that's something you should keep in your mind too. So betting against Bitcoin, I don't think is the smartest, even though I'm not sure if it will be the last crypto to survive. But hey. Luna surpasses ETH, becoming the second most staked asset. Actually, they became first a little bit later. Not sure if I have a tweet about that open. I was trying to have one of those open, but I guess I kind of lost it somewhere along the road. But yeah, that was also very nice to see. All right, having said that, guys, that was it for today's video here. I've covered all the topics I wanted to cover. I'm very excited about the future of crypto, as you guys understand. But that was it for right now. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all again in another episode of the Daily Crypto News later today.